So for anyone who's new to my channel who hasn't actually gone through and looked at every video that I posted, you might wonder why I've been quiet for I think it's been like a couple of months. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly go over why I'm quiet. I did make probably 2 vlogs in the past. I don't remember how long ago I made these vlogs that went into it a little bit, but I actually think one of them was basically covering this completely, but it's been a while, so I don't know how well I covered this topic, but well, I can't remember off the top of my head how well I covered it. I just know that I covered it in 2 vlogs, but the short answer to that is that it's a waste of time for me to complain, which is basically what I'm doing. I mean, when I do this, it's really just me complaining over what I consider a very unfair, deal that I got in life. And nobody cares. As a matter of fact, a lot of people like the fact that I'm unhappy with life because these are very evil, very miserable people. So you complaining makes them feel good because now they have company in their misery. So I'm doing them this big solid because misery likes company. Even if you took the spiritual element out of it, misery likes company. So, well, certain types of miserable people like company. So you get a bunch of really horrible people who are really miserable, and they're going to spend a lot of time trying to drag everybody else down so that everyone is as miserable as they are. They don't like, seeing people enjoy their lives and have a good time when they can't. So I think that a lot of the gang stalkers, because of whatever, evils in them, live these very miserable lives, and they turn to evil or Satan for some sort of way out or something. Or maybe it just weakened them to the point where Satan was easily able to influence them or possess them or take control of their lives and make them into the monsters he wanted them to be. I don't know. So like if I'm complaining and nobody cares, but everybody hears, then I'm really doing myself a disservice, and I'm not helping anybody, and I'm not even helping myself. The gang stalkers would like nothing more than to know I'm miserable, so that they know that they have spread misery, and they brought down all these righteous. Well, not, I don't want to call myself righteous, but they brought down all of these people of God, and they can convince everybody that God is a fairy tale and he can protect nobody from them, and it strengthens their hand. So then, they take control of the community and they start throwing money around, and everybody's like, well, I should go ahead and take this deal because there's no God anyhow. So in a lot of ways, I think that taking us down is super important, especially if we are, or either religious or spiritual or whatever you want to call us. For them to say that there's no God and all you have are us, the evil psychopaths, we run things, all you have is us, and if you don't take our money, you just waste your life. I think that message resonates with a lot of people, and it's the reason why they probably made so much progress. Everybody would be quick to make a deal with the devil if they felt like this was the only shake they were going to get in life. So to cover the topic in detail, me complaining does nothing, and I can't do anything else with the channel. So in the past, doing this was more of a weakness, but it's not a weakness for me anymore. I literally can do this and it just doesn't affect me, but I just don't feel like it's a good outlet. Like, I don't think that me complaining all the time is particularly helpful. Like, I've posted so many videos, and I've said this, and I know I've said this a lot in a lot of recordings I made. The gang stalkers love it. They're like, look, this guy's paying attention to me. They love it. I mean, they absolutely love it. Like, the type of people that I attract would be the type of people who would like the negativity, who would thrive in it. I attract a certain type of person. Like, I attract a type of person who would just thrive in that sort of environment, an environment which, somebody's screaming for help, and, and they're the cause of it, and, they're just enjoying that. I think they thrive in that type of environment. Like, they love knowing that they have tore somebody down or broken someone, especially someone who's spiritual or religious or whatever, a Christian, preferably a Christian, somebody who believes in God, and they think, because they were evil and God gave them a bad deal because they were evil and he knew it, that there is no God, when it really was them the whole time. It was them the whole time, probably. but like I said, when they're punished, just like with the demons, when they're punished, it makes them want to lash out even more when they're punished. So they're just like tearing down all these people who really had nothing to do with their situation at all. So like, I'm not responsible for their situation. Like, I'm completely innocent of their situation. I had no say so in anything that happened in their life that was negative. And you notice how it'll always be people like myself who are taking the abuse from it. So most people would say, well, people are products of their environment. I mean, my environment couldn't possibly be more toxic. I mean, it's been this way for a very long time. Like, if I was the product of this environment, I'd probably be a hardened criminal doing some jail time right now. Like, I don't know how you come out of an environment like this with any kind of decency or positivity at all if people are the products of their environments. Like, I don't know how you would do that. And to be fair, I mean, yeah, there's other variables possibly. I mean, I think that when you start making excuses, you can make excuses for anything. Like, you would say, well, this had to happen or that had to happen. Like, you're making some sort of scientific, concoction or something. Like, you have to mix a little of this, a little of that, and a little of this. And if you miss one ingredient, then you just can't bake the cake. I don't know. Like, you miss the eggs, you got to have the eggs, you got to have the oil. You have to have everything. Like, I mean, the people would look at my situation and be like, sure, you lived in the worst, most toxic environment you could possibly live in for all these years. But this guy, had this extra ingredient that you didn't have, and that was the ingredient you needed or something. It gets complicated. Like, these people who don't believe in this stuff, I mean, you'd be surprised how many excuses they would make. Like, when they try to sell people these ideas, like an idea that people are the products of their environment, like that idea. And these are ideas that Satan likes because it takes God and him out of the equation. Now everybody's just a product of their environment. Like, there's nothing more to it. So these criminals and these psychopaths should be pitied. Like, we shouldn't be too critical of them because, well, they had a hard time growing up. I mean, that was it. Like, that's it. And they should be allowed to, terrorize people who didn't. And God has just been written off. So when I see these people riding around out here, I don't see them as people who are created by a toxic environment. If that were the case, I would be way worse than they are. I see them as people who on the inside were just really bad people on the inside. Spiritually, on a deeper level, they were always horrible people. And now, they have the ability to kind of make an excuse for that. But so, like, I just kind of wanted to go back to this because, like, I attract those type of people. And believe me when I tell you, they are definitely motivated by something that I'm not completely aware of. And I do think it's spiritual, but they are definitely motivated by something in order to be this toxic. Like, when I see them follow me around, I saw a guy, I'm not even joking, it was two of them. It was two of these criminal thug types. And he followed me. Like, this guy follows me. And he was just popping in to get my attention. And I'm thinking, what in life could have made him like this other than some sort of satanic force or the government just being so evil or corrupt, or I just don't know. I mean, whatever it was horrible, it was evil. So I just think that people in this situation, like, if people are wondering like how I feel about this situation, look, I hear all sorts of the theories about this, and I've heard plenty of theories. You cannot put your faith in people. I think is the biggest takeaway to all this is, I hear people, and I mean, they're like, so the guy I mentioned in the other recording I made, this guy's like, you should have empathy for us. And I'm thinking, I don't need you to have empathy. I don't care how you feel about it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, that's suggesting that our happiness is solely based on the good of humanity. As targeted people, our happiness should never be based off of what people do or don't do. That is a huge mistake. You people cannot be trusted to do the right thing is the takeaway, is the point I'm making. If you put your faith in people to do right by you and to save you or be your saviors, you are screwed. There is no other way I could put it. If my happiness was based off the good of humanity, I would have been screwed. Those gang stalkers would have mowed over me like a lawnmower mowing over a freshly grown out late spring yard. I mean, it would have been just like, you know, they would have just plowed me down like a weed or something. It would have been like, no humanity. If I was reliant on the goodness of humanity to make it out of this soundly, mentally sound, I would have been the most screwed person you've ever met. I mean, so you put your faith in humanity, you're done. Like, I just don't think that's very smart. Like, you know, so like my happiness is not based off of anything people do or don't do. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the only way I can see it. Like, I don't look at these people and think, well, okay, well, if I'm going to have a good day, it's going to be because of what they're doing. Or if my day is bad, it's because of what they're doing. Like, my day will be good or bad depending on just how I feel on the inside. It has nothing to do with external forces. So, I hope that makes sense. Now, I can do these recordings safely now. In the past, they were problematic. I can do them safely now, but that's not to say I will. I just don't want to be in a situation in which I'm paying the gang stalkers too much attention or I'm making my life about them. So for the last couple of months, I've just been living life. Like, I felt like I've done everything I could do to deal with them. And if everybody is just like, okay, well, this is what we want to be, I'm just going to let them be that and allow God to judge them in the end. God will just judge them and that's it. Like, I mean, I don't really think that me complaining about their behavior is particularly helpful. If anything, it's worked against me. It hasn't worked for me. I mean, of course, I did make the channel, and a lot of people might like this channel. This channel was a cry for help for myself and other people in my situation. It wasn't like I made this like the people on TikTok to entertain people. Like, this channel wasn't designed to entertain anybody. It was a desperate plea for help for myself and the targeted community, like all the oppressed people. It was like we were being oppressed, nobody cared, and nobody believed us, and I wanted to do something about this, so do something about the situation. So I was like, okay, well, this is what's in my power to do. This is what I have within my power to do, to help myself and other people in my situation, to help people. That was it. Like, it wasn't, I'm not, you know, I'm like a social media creator, content creator or anything. Like, it was designed to help people. So I wasn't doing it to entertain people or be, you know, I don't know, the next, you know, YouTuber, TikTok star or whatever. like I had no interest in that. So like, once I felt like I did everything that I could do in that department, it just made sense for me to hang the channel up. I mean, the channel didn't really do anything for me either. I mean, I didn't get anything out of it. Nobody really supported me or did really anything. So, you know, it was just like, why am I still doing this? And that's why I just decided not to. But of course, if I chose to, I could still do the videos. I could still do the vlogs. I'm not going to be recording the gang stalkers because they like the attention too much. But I feel like it's just not accomplishing anything. And I just want people to keep in mind the fact that the channel was designed to help us. And if I've done everything I could do with it in that regard, then it makes sense for me to just leave it alone. That was the point of the channel, is to expose this and to bring awareness to it and to kind of say that this is happening and, you know, maybe it shouldn't be happening. Maybe somebody should do something or stand up for us or help us or something. I mean, you know, like, because nobody else was going to do anything. Nobody was going to do anything. Nobody was going to come to the rescue. Nobody was going to care. I mean, you know, I did what I could do. I mean, it was within my power to do that, so I did it. And I don't know what else to do now. So since I don't know what else to do, and I've posted so many videos and there's no point to it anymore, so I decided to just stop with it. So that's the reason. So most likely I'm not going to really get super involved in the channel. I'm making content for it. Like, I'm just like, there's no point. So with that said, let me go ahead and close.